Okay, good morning. Okay, good evening, everyone, and good evening, Mr. Harto, Papa Harto. Okay, today my name is Doni Susanto. I'm sorry, my name is Doni Susanto, and I would like to present or discuss about the article, the article 11, the 11 article. It's about current uses for task-based language assessment. The article is by John M. Norris at 2000, on 2016. Okay, well, first of all, the current uses for text-based language assessment means that we are going, or this article is going to present or discuss about the the task-based language assessment or TBLA that is uses today nowadays for the language assessment or in every in every domain on this world that is can be supported by this TBLA. Okay, and the first is introduction. In this article, the first introduction is task-based language assessment or TBLA has generated interest since the early 1990s, primarily in conjunction with the ongoing development of task-based language teaching or TBLT and the pursuit of developing appropriate testing models for this approach to pedagogy. So this TBLA has been known uh, earlier on the 1990s, and it is so long, and it is also conjunction with the development of text-based language teaching or TBLT. That's yeah, as a teacher we have already perhaps we are already familiar with this kind of task-based task-based learning or task-based assessment or something. And then the second is education in particular has been shaped and reshaped by the prominent use of such assessment, typically in association with reform movements, but also as part and parcel of standard teaching practice. So here again, it's stressed off to the education side or education domain, where this TBLA has been known or standard used in teaching practice like that. And then the third is the ultimately it argues that tasks offer a fundamental though not exclusive foundation for useful language assessment, and that task-based assessment, though challenging, is probably what we afford. So this TBLA can be used to improve or to develop our language skill, our language assessment to the teacher or even the students like that. Or and this article is reviewing article where it is review. It is not a study, not a study in the site or something, but it is about the reviewing some TBLA that is used currently in some domains like education, for example, like that. So it is a reviewing article. And then here the article also provides some various studies that is yeah related with this study. It is the first is by Kane and Crow, Kane, Crooks and Cohen in 1999, task-based language assessment of PBLA, like performance assessment in mainstream education. And then the second studies is from Brainley, 1994, was probably the first to observe and codify the basic dimension of TBLA, though interest in language performance assessments and certainly been in evidence for some time. And then the third is by Scan on 1998. It's about task-based assessment to raise considerable new interest because of their obvious alignment with the development of task-based language teaching. And then here we are going to TBLA in practice. The practice or applying this TBLA, it is often used in combination with emerging technological affordance as expanded with this and other assessment context in order to accommodate the real world needs of the test user. So in here, TBLA means that sometimes we are use this to accommodate or to increase or to gain the knowledge for the learner or the student or perhaps the teacher also to what is it to consider or to realize about the real world needs about the needs. So by doing this TBLA we can gaining the information, we can knowing the information what the target needs in the real world like that. And then the second is te- and the second is Teachers Administration Office. Employers and others seek transparent indication of the extent to which language learner can communicate in a target language. So it is in the teaching language or teaching foreign language, for example, like in English in Indonesia. By using this TBLA, we can communicate or we can seek the indication about the target of the language. We can conclude the was it perhaps the problem or something that is faced by the student by we are going to task or the assessment of the language, then we can know, oh, this student is for example like has a lack of information on this part, for example, or something like, yeah, perhaps there's a student who lacks in the tenses or something in the grammar or something, so we can know by doing this assessment like that. Okay, so uh, then the next is about uses of TBLA or task-based language assessment. Sorry. So the first uses is where sometimes TBLA used in task as a standard. Here's mean that the task-based standard in turn form the basic for assessment that are used to the to the determine or something. For example, like comprehends reading or writing, or sometimes like we are going to assess or test the students reading comprehensive or something, that's standard. And then the second is task in proficiency assessment. So this the next level is evaluating to have to do with critical role play by tasking in large scale, and then standardized language proficiency, and I'm sorry, yeah. So this proficiency assessment means that it is the higher level of the language, where sometimes it is like almost a professional, like for example like IELTS, TOEFL, or something like that. And then tax for employee certification. This okay, for the simple understanding, and perhaps I can give the example. For example, like the nurse or the doctor. So we can assess or we can test them for the certification of the language, or their profit their was it their job, working job, or something is on the certification employment when we are required or open the job vacancies for them. We can use this task for employee certification, or we can for example like for our employee, for example, we can also give them certification to empower them like that. Or in the teacher, yeah, we have like PPG, LPG, or something. Yeah, this is for the certification for teacher like that. And then the fourth is about tax for language educational assessment. Yeah, yeah, this is we have known this for educational assessment. Yeah, we use it, or we did it as an education assessment for their graduation, or their examination, last examination, or something that is can make them that is used or applied in order to assess or to measure their understanding, and then go to the next level of the study or something of learning. And then in this article we have the result. The first is description of language tasks are useful for conveying valued learning and ability target to policies and standard. So means that this by we are applying this TBLA, we can have a task useful for conveying. We can consider which task or the test or the what is it? Yes, or the task or something that can evaluate can convey the value that earn in the classroom or in the learning process. And then the second is prototypical tasks offer a meaningful basis for eliciting and generalizing about learners' functional language proficiency rather than more knowledge, mere knowledge in order to make admission, placement, and other high-stakes decision. So here the second is means that by applying this what is it this approach, or we can say it as approach, uh, we can gain some beyond or some next level of the students' understanding. Because here the students not only know about okay this is for example like okay this is present tense it's like this like this, but they can apply that the information the knowledge, and they can also give or be more proficiency or something used to about the knowledge. And then the third is high fidelity simulation of specific tasks, thus enable the certification of language user ability within critical occupation domains. Means that yeah, like a PPG or a certification for teacher or some for some other professions. Here by this uh, assessment or task-based assessment, we can measure we can conclude that okay you are a professional, have you have a test, yeah, okay you are going to get the certification or something, yeah, because certification as we know that it is the process or something that was it that said that could be said that we are a professional in our profession. And then the next is language performance. Tasks provide well-aligned exemplar of learning outcomes for determining achievements in educational programs that focus on developing learners' ability to use the language. Again, this determine or developing learning's ability to use the language. This not only knowing or gaining the information or like only the theories, only knowing like yeah, like what I said before, like present tense is like it, uh, and then past tense like it. No, but they can also apply it and use it in language or in their daily. And then extended, complex, and integrated text establish a rich base within which learner and teacher can collaboratively examine various aspects of language development and critically generate meaningful feedback to further improve learning and instruction. Yeah. Okay, this is focusing on the teaching learning process in the classroom. We can say it by using this approach. We can expect we can expect the interaction between teacher and student is going to be what is it? It's going to be live and going to be rich. I mean this interaction because by knowing their I mean the students' needs, their students' weakness and strength, we can know how to how to how to how to make a relation. I mean like yeah, approaching them, how to make them active and motivate them so they can be was it active and then improve their learning and understanding in the classroom. And then the next slide is about TBLA in contemporary notion of language teaching and learning. So here the TBLA that is used in language teaching and learning, and the result is task-based performance aligned well with curriculum and instruction that focuses on functional language use. And then task-based performance tell us things that other items types do not. For example, like ability to accomplish specific tasks under particular condition. Task-based performances offer rich opportunities for eliciting and observing language used with meaningful content in context. There is always more to communicate language use than just language, and tasks capture this other dimension rather well. So here we can conclude that yeah, it is not only gaining the information, it is about the use of the language and then the performance of the language itself by the student or by the learner or even the teacher, and accomplish specific tasks under particular conditions. Mean like mm, we can what is it? We can they can accomplish the problem that we give in particular condition, that because sometimes we the students feel hard to solve the problems in certain condition. In here we can make sure okay they can solve this problem if the conditions like this, and they cannot if like that, so we can do it by the assessment. And then the task-based performances can reveal multiple aspects of language ability and or development within a single instance. For example, like accuracy, complexity, fluency, content knowledge, procedural knowledge, expertise, and pragmatic sensibility. So task-based performance can reveal some aspect of language, so they can be more understand about the language target. Then the task-based performances are in many cases the most indicate targeted expectation of language classes and program, thereby serving as useful representation of learning outcomes. And and corollary concern to this assumption is that if they do not reflect our expectation, then what exactly are we teaching in language education? Yeah, it means that in this task-based performance, we can expect that they can they can reflect, they can understand, they can use again what the knowledge that have been given to them, so they can apply or use it on the other condition. And then TBLA in analysis for language assessment. The first is task-based assessment provide relevant and comprehensive frames of reference for learners and teachers to generate, act, and act upon feedback related to form, function, meaning, relationship, supporting increasingly important formative learning-oriented use that are called for in language education and related testing. So here we can get a feedback upon yeah reference to the assessment, and then the second is task-based assessment communicate to teachers and learner and other what is valued within a given educational setting, will raising their awareness about what they have to learn, or they consider, or they will realize why I learn this lesson, for example, and how will I how can I learn this, how can I understand it, and why. So after they realize or they consider the reason, the step, or the way how they learn or something, they going to be motivated, and then they're going to find the learning style or something that can help them in learning. And then task-based assessment introduced as innovation may impact curriculum and educational system. Okay, so this is for why innovation may impact curriculum and educational system, because by using this we can know the the student weakness, the student strength, and it's not only the student, even the system, even the assessment itself, test, the question or the examination, we can also knowing, or perhaps this is too hard for them or for the students, so we can change it. Or for example, like this curriculum is too difficult or too complicated to apply it in the classroom, so we can move, or we can change, or we can add or something that is related or suitable with the student that have been tested or assessed. And then task-based assessment generate interpretable and publicate meaningful data regarding the worthwhile outcomes language learning program. For example, summative, uses for accountability, certification, program evaluation. Yeah, it is very, very important. And that's all for my attention. Thank you very much. And thanks very much for my friends and Mr. Hato. And good evening.